Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
UFO in this publicity photograph.
Oh, I swear. Can't even turn the television off when he's done. What was he watching in here anyway? Another vintage UFO documentary. Wonder if he's learned anything new. Hi, here we go. Let's try to get this filing cabinet. Now, please don't bite me this time. Ah, there we go. Let's see what's in here tonight. Matt, why is there a 19th century medical bag in here?
Oh, that old thing? Probably just somebody's stethoscope, maybe a tongue depressor, maybe a leech.
Nope, no, absolutely not. Something is alive in there. I'm not opening that. I'm not even looking at it.
Come on, Juniper. Could just be an old stethoscope. Okay, yeah, never mind. Don't open that.
Thank you. Finally, some wisdom from you. Why is that even in the file cabinet? Why does it keep breathing?
I prefer not to think about it.
Same. Moving on. Here we go. Tonight's file, episode 240. Allagash, the night the fire died.
Ah, yeah, Maine, 1976. 4 artists, 1 canoe trip, a strange light, and a fire that refused to burn.
And the part where they all suddenly remember things they did not want to remember.
Yeah, that part's my favorite. Ready to take our listeners back to the Allagash wilderness?
As long as that medical bag doesn't try and crawl off the table while we're recording, sure.
We should probably start the podcast.
Yes, immediately.
Episode 240, Allagash, the night the fire died.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson. Produced by Juniper Ravenwood. With Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Deep in the pine-choked veins of northern Maine, where the Allagash Wilderness waterway carves its black ribbon through the earth, 4 men vanished from the world for a stretch of hours they can never reclaim. August 20th, 1976. A bonfire built to burn through the night reduced to cold, and while the men were still out on the lake, they came back with no memory of how time slipped away, only the lingering taste of ozone on their tongues and feeling that something had looked inside them. Tonight we open the file on the Allagash Abductions, 4 friends, 1 canoe, and a light in the sky that answered when they flashed their signal.
Oh, Juniper, you're serving up Maine chills tonight.
Yeah.
I can already smell the damp pine needles and hear the loons going quiet.
They always go quiet when something's watching. Strap in, listeners. Matt's got the file. I'm just here to keep the shadows from crawling too close. Over to you, Matt.
Thanks for digging into the file cabinet again, Juniper. You always pull out the ones that make the hairs on my neck stand up like they're trying to salute the moon. All right, friends, picture this. It's 1976. 4 guys in their 20s, all art students, decide to ditch the city and paddle deep into the Allagash Wilderness waterway. Jim Weiner, his twin brother, Jack, Chuck Rack, and Charlie Foltz. They're not UFO nuts. They're not chasing ghosts. They just want a week of canoeing, fishing, and sketching the kind of landscapes that make you believe in something bigger than yourself. Night of August 20th. They're camped on the shore of Eagle Lake. This mirror black stretch of water ringed by spruce so thick the stars have to fight to get through. The guys decide to build A monster bonfire. Stack it high with logs. Douse it with a little kerosene for good measure. The plan? Keep it blazing so they can find their way back if they're out fishing after dark. Smart, right? They paddle out in one canoe, lines in the water, flashlights bobbing. Just 4 dudes, a 6-pack of beer, and the kind of silence that feels like it's listening back. Chuck's the first to see it. He's reeling in a line when something catches his eye above the tree line. Not a plane, not a star, a light, pulsing, shifting from white to red to blue, hovering like it's got all the time in the world. The guys are artists. They know perspective. They know optics. This thing defies both. It's close enough to cast shadows on the water, but silent as a held breath. Chuck grabs his flashlight, flicks it on and off, SOS in Morse, just messing around. And the light answers. It flares brighter, then drops lower, skimming the treetops. A beam shoots out, thin, surgical, the color of molten steel, and locks onto the canoe. Next thing they know, they're paddling back to shore. But the fire, that roaring blaze they left crackling, it's a pile of gray ash and a few glowing embers. Hours gone. Hours. They felt like they were out there for 20 minutes, tops. Their watches say otherwise. The beer's still cold. Their clothes are dry. But something's wrong. They don't talk about it. Not then. They pack up, head home, and try to stuff the night into a box labeled Weird Camping Story. Life moves on. Marriages, jobs, kids, but the box doesn't stay closed. Fast forward to 1988. Jim Weiner starts having nightmares. Vivid, technicolor terrors of being strapped to a table under a dome of white light. Gray figures with eyes like polished obsidian, leaning over him. Long fingers pressing into his skin. He wakes up screaming, heart jackhammering, with bruises he can't explain. Then the headaches start. Temporal lobe seizures. Doctors can't pin it down. Jim's twin brother Jack begins dreaming the same dreams. Chuck and Charlie aren't sleeping either. Insomnia, panic attacks, a bone-deep dread of bright lights. Something's clawing its way out of that locked box. Imagine that fire dying while you're still out on the water, and whatever took those hours left the embers cold on purpose, like a calling card.
Ooh, I'd never camp again. What happens when they finally open that box, Matt?
Hypnosis, Juniper, and what comes out under trance. We're diving back in after the break. Stay close.
Okay, listeners, we're halfway through the Allagash file, and I've got goosebumps stacking up like cordwood. 4 guys, 1 missing night, and a bonfire that burned out way too fast. What do you think's waiting in the second half? Answers or just deeper shadows? Chris Beats has a message from one of our sponsors, then we're firing up the Spectral Cosmic Message Materializer for the mailbag. Don't touch that dial.
Thanks, Juniper. Hey everybody, Chris Beach here. And if life's been throwing a little too much your way lately, I've got something you'll want to try. It's called Shimmerwood. And they make award-winning CBD seltzers that deliver a refreshing, stress-relieving way to unwind. These are crafted with full-spectrum CBD, so you get that balanced, calming effect, easing tension, taking the edge off, all with 0 intoxicating effects. And they're not just good, they're legit. Forbes named Shimmerwood the #1 CBD beverage in the country. Twice. Each flavor blends natural fruit shrubs with crisp carbonation for a clean, delicious finish. Perfect for relaxing after work, settling in for a spooky podcast, or anytime you just need to breathe out. And for Shadow Frequency listeners, you can get 30% off any product with the promo code SHADOW25 at shimmerwood.com. All right, I'm feeling calmer already. Back to you, Juniper.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. Time to crank the dials on the old Shadow transceiver. Flipping the switches, here we go. All right, something's coalescing in the ether, a message flickering through the void like a moth against a porch light.
Message retrieved from the
All right,
void.
let's peel it open and see what drifted in from the dark. It says, "Hey man in Juniper, my name's Elena Duarte, writing in from Porto, Portugal. I stumbled under the shadow frequency a few months back while looking for something hairy to keep me company during my late-night painting sessions. And now it's part of my nightly ritual. I usually fire up the show on Spotify around midnight, put on a pot of coffee, and let the static and stories pull me into their own world while I work. I'm especially hooked on your UFO cases, time slip stories, and anything involving cryptids. The way you both break things down, Matt with the curious skepticism and Juniper with that podong, let me check the file cabinet energy. It just clicks. Episode 232 about the Morad doll haunting still gives me chills whenever I think about it. Thanks for making a show that feels like a late-night broadcast from another dimension. It's become this perfect mix of spooky, thoughtful, and strangely comforting. Listening from across the Atlantic, Elena, keep the shadows talking." Elena, you're painting to us? That's the highest honor, Midnight Coffee in episode 232. Hope the Morag doll didn't photobomb your canvas. Remind your friend Shadow Podcast at protonmail.com. Send us your midnight confessions. Matt, the file's still open. Take us the rest of the way.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. The darkness continues.
Thanks, Juniper and Elena. Your midnight ritual just became my new favorite image. All right, files open, second half. Let's row back out onto Eagle Lake, but this time we're bringing the floodlights. So the nightmares won't quit. Jim Wiener's health is unraveling. Seizures, migraines, the works. He hears about UFO researcher Raymond Fowler through a friend and thinks, what the hell? Maybe this guy's heard this before. Fowler has. He sets up hypnotic regression sessions with a psychologist, Dr. Richard Haynes, and later MUFON's Anthony Constantino. The four men, Jim, Jack, Chuck, and Charlie, agree to sit separately. No conferring, no scripts. What spills out under hypnosis is identical. Not just similar, identical. They describe being yanked upward in that beam of light. Bodies weightless, canoe left rocking empty on the lake. Inside the craft, a seamless curving chamber that hums like a beehive. The air tastes metallic. Gray beings, 4 feet tall, skin like wet ash, eyes black and lidless, guide them to tables that mold to their spines. Telepathic voices, calm but alien, say things like,
"Do not be afraid. This is necessary."
Samples taken, skin scraped, fluids drawn with needles that leave no marks. One guy, Chuck, recalls a device pressed to his temple that floods his mind with star maps. They're told, without words, that they're part of something ongoing. Then, poof, back in the canoe, paddles in hand, fire dead on the shore. Here's where it gets sticky, friends. I always promise one moment of skepticism, so buckle up. Hypnosis isn't a VCR. It's more like a kaleidoscope. Psychologists like Susan Clancy argue that vivid UFO media, Close Encounters, was huge in '77, remember? Primes the brain to stitch together dreams, seizures, and pulp culture into memories. Jim's temporal lobe epilepsy? That's a known hallucinogen. Sleep paralysis can freeze you in bed and give you gray visitors. And 4 guys telling the same story? Could be unconscious collaboration over a decade of barbecues and remember that weird night whispers.
What?
Polygraphs? They pass, but polygraphs measure stress, not truth. No scars, no implants, no Polaroids, just 4 shaken artists and a story that fits the era's abduction template like a glove. But here's what keeps me up, the consistency. Separate sessions, a dozen years apart, and they nail details down to the entity's 4-fingered hands. No fame chasing. Jim only spoke publicly in '93 because the nightmares wouldn't let him sleep. Charlie Foltz said it best in '94. We didn't ask for this. We just want people to know it happened. Jim passed in 2023, still swearing by it. The others, still alive, still quiet, still checking the skies when the lights get too bright. So here we are, nearly 50 years later, a bonfire that died too soon. 4 men who lost a night and gained a lifetime of questions. Believers call Allagash the gold standard of multiple witness abductions. Skeptics call it a masterclass in confabulation. Me? I'm stuck on the lake, staring at cold ashes, wondering what answered when they flashed that light. If something did take them, why give the time back at all? Why not keep them?
Maybe they were just borrowing. Ugh, Matt, you're ruining lakes for me.
Good. Stay out of the water after dark. Juniper, close us out.
Episode 240, Allagash, the night the fire died. 4 friends, 1 lost night, and a light that still hasn't blinked out. Thanks for camping in the shadows with us. Drop your own eerie encounters at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. And you can find us lurking on our website at shadowfrequencypodcast.com. And of course, all the usual haunts. Hey, Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Good night, Shadow Seekers. Keep your flashlights handy.
Until the next frequency flickers through, stay strange.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.